Hey everybody, welcome back to L-Man Gaming. Today I got for you my top 10 most anticipated games of 2023. Hey, if you're liking the content, hit that like and subscribe button, but let's get into it, shall we? So coming in at number 10, we have Alan Wake 2, releasing sometime in 2023. This is by Remedy Studios, and why that should excite you is because, well, man, they've been hitting a lot of strides here, and I feel like Alan Wake 2 could really be their true breakout big hit. Their last game was like Control, and that did really well, but I mean, I'm talking about really mainstream game, right? But this is this kind of horror franchise. If you played the original one way back when, pretty freaky, good mechanics, and just really interesting way to tell a story. So let's see if they can kind of continue that, but in this really next gen, up to date version. Coming in at number 9, we have Jedi Survivor, releasing March 17th. So I'm casually optimistic about this game because the first one, it hit all the kind of check marks in terms of just being average. It's like, okay, fine, like people can still release a good Star Wars single player game. But again, it was just average. And I played it again on the PS5, and just with the FPS increase, it kind of felt way better. It really did. It was a much more enjoyable experience the second time around. So that was quite interesting. With this one though, from the footage that we're seeing, man, I just don't know, right? My biggest problem with the game was just the way the lightsaber combat felt. I mean, you look at something like Jedi Knight Academy, like that game figured out lightsaber combat 20 years ago. Has it been that long? It feels like it has been. So the lightsaber combat feels like that wiffle ball bat bullshit, and hopefully that's fixed. Overall, though, it does look more the same, but in terms of actually, right, how you're going to explore, what you're unlocking, can they bring that up a notch? Overall, though, it's going to be a solid game. I love Star Wars. It's definitely one you should be excited about. But I'm just really hoping they're going to up the ante quite a bit. And again, based off the footage, it's a little skeptical again. Coming in at number 8, we have Assassin's Creed Mirage. Yeah, can you believe it? Still playing Assassin's Creed, and I still like the franchise quite a bit. That doesn't mean that Ubisoft gets a pass, though, right? These games are still janky as all hell, and they're sloppy. They're very sloppy. But with Mirage, I mean, come on, how can you not be excited for this? This Islamic golden age, it's just fantastic, right? It's like a mix between like maybe like Egypt and like the original Assassin's Creed. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. No gameplay yet. Just I mean, no official release date. We know it comes out sometime in 2023. But if they can just really nail the gameplay and just reduce that jank, I mean, it kind of falls in the same category as like Jedi Survivor, right? Like it's going to be a good game. You're going to enjoy playing it, but there's always an opportunity for them to really knock it out of the park and really impress us. And it's like in Ubisoft kind of get back to that standard where it's not buggy and kind of lacking in some areas. We'll see. But overall, again, going to be a solid game. Going to be very fun to play through, and I just cannot wait to experience this era particularly. Coming in at number 7, Like a Dragon, Ishin, coming out February 21st. Oh man, I've been a big Yakuza fan ever since Yakuza 0 came out, right? They're really sort of ramping up the series in the West, and it's paid off, which is why we keep getting all these new kind of games. Again, just to be clear, right, it was originally known as the Yakuza series, but now they've changed the nomenclature of the titles to Like a Dragon going forward. So this is Like a Dragon, and Ishin is this title. But this is like this old timey, probably not Edo period. I don't know, right? Samurai crap. You just get a katana and you get to weeb out. The only thing that's kind of setting in for me is this kind of formula. It is very formulaic, and if you play one of these games, you know what you're going to get, which is again a good and a bad thing. I know exactly what I'm going to get. I'm going to walk around, beat the crap out of people, kill them, experience an awesome story, fun mini games. And it's the first time again we're going to be able to experience this kind of franchise. Especially the West and this older period with just some swords and some guns. So again, one of those games where the era is just super appealing. And again, I'm just a huge fan of the series. If you haven't played Yakuza Zero, you probably should go out and play that game for sure. So again, another one of these games I'm just it kind of falls into that same category: Survivor, Mirage, games that I know I'm going to have a good time, but is it really going to hit that next level? Not sure, but more so than the other two, this game is definitely going to deliver a more experience that I'm going to be familiar with, and I know it's going to be quality. So that's what I'm excited for with this game, that it is in fact going to deliver. I can just tell you that right now. Coming in at number 6, we have Resident Evil 4 Remake coming out March 24th. Oh, baby wonder roost, all this kind of funny dialogue. Look, this game, I'm telling you, I'll tell you right now, my favorite game. When people ask me what is my favorite game of all time, I will tell them Resident Evil 4 comes to mind for a couple of reasons. One, mainly being the replayability, but just again, these segments of the game, just how satisfying they can be. Right, the survival horror tension, the shooting is just, it's amazing. I've never experienced a game again that is so linear, but at the same time so replayable. Again, it really would be probably Resident Evil 4. Again, it was one of those titles that just instantly popped in my head when people ask me that question. So then maybe you wonder, well, why isn't it higher on my list? Well, because I don't expect the same game, and I don't need to be the same game, and I already have that game, right? But I mean, look at what we're looking at right now, right? It looks fantastic. It's Leon. I'm excited for the changes too, right? I don't want it to be the same game. I want it to be much different. And we're going to get the survival aspect, that tense moment to moment gameplay with the shooting. And yeah, I just can't wait to experience this game again, and hopefully in new ways. And they can really kind of again elevate it. Resident Evil 2, I played that was absolutely fantastic. So again, I'm expecting big things from this. But the reason why it isn't higher on my list is because again, I just don't need it to, and I just don't expect it to. But I know this is going to be just super quality. And if you haven't played it yet, then wow, you're in for a treat. Coming in at number 5, we have Hollow Knight Silksong coming out sometime this year, I think, hopefully. I mean, listen, guys, that's one of the things I want to talk about and lead in with. The way the developers, look, air quotes, I know they're indie developers, it's a very small team, but how they've handled this game is complete bullshit. I'm just going to call them out. It's like one of those things, like, you got to be careful with like your marketing. This game has gone on too long. At this point, you would think they have like 2 expansions planned for the game or something. So I don't know what the holdup is. I wish they've communicated better. But either way, Hollow Knight was absolutely amazing. Truly blew me away. Really, Hollow Knight is absolutely a very special game. It's interesting how it kind of just copied Dark Souls in a lot of ways, but it was still just significantly better in some ways and more unique and just delivered perfectly. So a lot of people are excited for this game. I definitely am. Again, just these are kind of getting these higher quality games now, where like it's like wow, we're going to experience something really special here, and this game looks really special. It's just again, quit the bullshit. Like, when is this thing coming out? Communicate with us, people. We know this game's going to be awesome, so yeah, let's get to it. We're going to play this game and enjoy the hell out of it. Spider-Man 2 PS5. Again, another one of these games that are supposedly coming out this year now, right? It's number 4, and I don't. This game very well could have been higher on the list for sure. It's already pretty high, right? But it could have been higher because we just haven't seen any real gameplay. It's one of those things now where we're kind of, I want to be careful. But there's a really big opportunity here, especially with the villains and what kind of technology they're going to utilize with the PS5, and just how much more free and open it's going to feel than, the Miles Morales game and the original one. For me personally, like I think what we're all waiting for too is like Venom. How is he going to look, and how's that gameplay going to work? That's just super exciting. And that's all I want from this game, right? It's just like I mentioned it. I want it to be more open, more kind of free. In terms of the open world, what we got to experience in the original game, it was pretty basic. Let's not kid ourselves. It was pretty basic, and that's fine. But now when you're utilizing this new technology with the PS5, like we got to go big, man. We got to go big. We got to do Venom right here, and I just hope they really knock it out of the park. I really do. They hope they knock it out of the park. Because I feel like this is kind of being like it's almost like a sleeper hit, which doesn't make sense, But there's a lot of other big titles that are going to be coming up on like the list. I feel like it, overshadow this. And if they do the marketing right and what we expect, this game can easily just like, say no, 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 you're not overshadowing me, and like stand right there with them. We just gotta see it though, right? No gameplay. So once we see it, we'll know for sure just what kind of beast we're dealing with. Coming in at number three, we have Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and coming out pretty soon too, guys. May 12th. Like that's pretty freaking soon. Uh, some concerns though, right? Old hardware, right? I mean, that's actually I think smart of Nintendo to do that, but at the same time, for us, the player base, I mean, does that mean we really are just getting the same game? You know, what could they have really kind of pushed to make this more interesting? You know, obviously people want like the dungeons back. Personally, with me, like I want a bug net, I want a fishing rod. You know, I want to be able to interact with the open world in these extra kind of ways that should matter, and take the gameplay to like the next level. Like combat too, taking it to like the next level. We gotta have more of all combat than just jump out the way and get a slow mo dodge. And don't even mention to me about all the glitches and stuff people do. 99% of the people cannot do those kind of stuff. So right, it's got to get beefy. This game's got to feel more beefy because that charm's going to wear out very quickly this time around if it doesn't deliver on the beefy elements. Right? Because I mean, look at the footage. Some people watching this would think this is the same game. It looks like the same. It looks like the same game. Um, so again, some concerns, but we haven't seen a lot. We haven't seen a lot, and at the end of the day, we do know, right, this is a heavy hitter. It's going to be incredible. Even if it doesn't have that quite the same charm, I mean, you can play Breath of the Wild right now, and it's going to be amazing. So if this is just Breath of the Wild again, then guess what? It's going to be amazing. But again, we want that beefy, take it to like the next level, and is the Switch going to allow them to do that? We'll see. Coming in at number two, Final Fantasy 16. And here we get really interesting, guys. Final Fantasy 16 coming out June 22nd. I think they got a perfect release date, too. That release date is just so perfect. But, dude, this game, I really wanted to make this number one. The only reason why is because the world for the first game you'll see next is just more interesting. And I just have not played in a world like that before, so that's why the first one's going to overtake this. But believe me, in the long run, though, this will probably be the better game. I think ultimately this will probably be the better game. And I mean, again, new year, I don't give a shit. I'll call it right now. This looks like it's going to be game of the year already. This looks like it very well is going to be the top contender for game of the year. Uh, just so mature, where they're taking Final Fantasy, the story, the combat, everything just amped up. It's going to push the PlayStation 5 and all the consoles, eventually the PSC to like maximum levels, hopefully. I think it looks pretty good too, right? But man, this is just becoming this perfect storm to where like people are going to have to pay attention to Final Fantasy. I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan, but I promise you, after this game, I will be. The way I've seen this game could very well just become one of my all-time favorite games. Like straight up, this, Witcher-esque. I mean, you get lots of comparisons. You've all heard Attack on Titan. We've all heard the comparisons. But the another thing though that just blows me away though. This is my favorite trailer too. This is the Awakening trailer that came out 2 years ago. Let me just take a second with you guys here and just turn this up. I'm gonna turn it up for you because I want you to listen to the music because the music alone is going to make this game of the year. This is the best soundtrack I think I've ever heard from a game, guys. All right, you ready? This is like my favorite transition.
The legacy of the crystals. Has shaped our history. I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
Woo! Man, I'm telling you, goosebumps still every time, man. Let me tell you something. I will make a better review than IGN if it's the last thing I do. Seriously, because, oh man, I'm telling you. I mean, listen, this stuff is just so predictable for me. Game, right? You know how Jeff Knightley does the, orchestra, the Game of the Year awards? Dude, this would be played. It'll win Game of the Year. Like, they'll have a special performance just for this game. The orchestra, the singers. I mean, the music. I forgot the guy that does his music, right? Because I'm just doing a Final Fantasy 16, but he's like somewhat like one of the older guys that's kind of like taken over from one of the main guys. I don't know. I wish I could remember his name. I should look it up, but I'm not. But this guy just has made the best original soundtrack I've heard in a long time. That song, I've heard the other ones too. It's incredible. You're going to hear this at the Game Awards for sure. Bombastic, just in your face, and then right, you have these like melodies that kind of branch. Oh man, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, that's that. You're going to be anime weebing out shit. I mean, it's just that good. So this game, again, in the long run, I think it's just going to have it all in the long run, and it's probably going to be the best game. But it's not my most anticipated game, sadly, because like I said, number one, the world just looks more interesting. So let's get to that. So coming in at number one, you saw it in the beginning, Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, man, this game, this is my most anticipated. Like I said, um, oh, actually, let me back up real quick too. Right, the game it's coming out very soon, actually, too, which is exciting. February 10th. I think you get it like extra two, like extra days. Like you either play it earlier days if you get like the digital deluxe or something. So maybe February 7th is actually the earliest. But either way, again, the main deciding factor for why this is my favorite is because we just haven't had a game like this before, ever. We haven't. There's not been a game like this ever yet. So that alone is already pushing the genre forward quite a bit. We had the older Harry Potter games, but not done in terms of this own style, own unique story. A lot of the mechanics are going to feel familiar from open world games and stuff, but again, we just haven't had a world like this and done in this kind of detail yet. We haven't. And that alone, again, is just why I would choose. Right, if I had to choose this game or Final Fantasy 16, I could only play one. Even though I know Final Fantasy 16 would probably be the better game, I would pick this game because I know it's still going to be damn close. But more importantly, I haven't played a world like this yet. And this is like that, millennial dream kind of bullshit. Like, oh my god, like this is what I grew up with. I mean, I'm not really that big of a Harry Potter fan. That's the thing, right? You have to understand what J.K. The world itself, right, is like Tolkien-esque. What J.K. Rowling did, the world is more interesting. Harry Potter can go screw himself. I don't care about Harry, Hermione, or Ron Weasley. But the world, how this stuff works, their magic and the magical beasts, right? Like the classes and how this, it's like literally, it's like she made a world that was so dang interesting that it literally just, turns itself into a game, right? Like that's how good her world is. Like literally, like wow, this actually works extremely well for an RPG. It's like funny how that works. So yeah, man, for me, it's just all about this world itself. I think everything looks pretty top notch too. I think the combat does look interesting. I think like how they design the world is amazing. I mean, dude, I need to find that shot actually. Where is that shot at? Oh man, there's a shot where they're flying around, and you can literally see the castle, and it's literally the coolest thing ever because you got to realize something that castle that you see in the background, Hogwarts, you can literally just fly there, go into it, and walk around this own huge castle. Like that's pretty amazing transition, and hopefully hopefully there's no loading screens, right? As long as there's no loading screens, it will deliver in that regard. So again, everything just looks very well done, very well thought out, and the RPG elements are insane. Customization. I mean, dude, this is this is really going to deliver at this point. Like I wasn't completely sold on this game until this showcase. This is the second showcase that happened, and once I saw this, it was like, wow. Whatever other little doubts I had, no, they're gone now. This is exactly what I want out of an RPG. This is exactly what I want out of an adventure game. Hopefully the story's good, but honestly, it won't matter for me. Uh, I really am just excited to play this game, make my own character, and just get into it. So yeah, 100%. This is my most anticipated game, and thank God it's coming out soon. I forget that it's coming out very soon. So yeah, we're gonna find out just how good this game is. It's gonna be a very big game too, guys. This is a 100+ hour game, easily, easily. So you just have to ask yourself, does this world interest you, right? The universe. You don't have to like Harry Potter, but the world itself does it interest you? Because if it doesn't in any kind of way, then yeah, I got some bad news for you. You're probably not going to like the game, and you shouldn't force it on yourself. But if you are interested in the magic, magic stuff, then guess what? You got your game of the year already locked in right here. So yeah, guys, appreciate you stopping by. If you made it to the end, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe if any of these games you're excited for. Right? You're watching this channel because you're a gamer, right? So you must like something. So hit that like and subscribe button. Again, thanks for watching, and looking forward to the new year. Hope everyone's ready to game out because we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Things have been slow lately, but man, this year it's finally going to start. We're going to get some big beefy games and definitely more regular kind of release date too on things. Content release date. Things are going to be coming out more frequently. So yeah, a lot to look forward to. Hopefully you all enjoy it because I will.